I purchased this Graco X7 paint sprayer and used it for the first time yesterday to paint my shed. I want to point out one thing right here. It says no thinning required. Here's the painter after my first use. I kind of got a lot of paint everywhere. So this paint gun, it worked in some ways and did not in others. I'm going to show you my shed I painted right now. Here it is. So the Graco X7 paint sprayer, I had a lot of trouble with it. I had pretty heavy duty water-based latex Kills 2 primer that I used, which I mixed it in as well as I could with a stick, but I did not strain it, and the gun just didn't spray for about the first couple of hours. That it would spray like streaks and all sorts of stuff. It was a real problem, and then it finally cleared up a little bit and sprayed the rest of the primer well. Then I did I hooked it up with a Bare Ultra exterior water-based latex paint, which you're not supposed to need to thin, and once again it got all clogged up. I had 2 calls with customer service. Graco's customer service is really good, but they did tell me that I needed to thin the paint, that I should have strained it, which is something I didn't do, I just didn't know, and that it would be better to mix it with like a drill rather than by hand. So maybe some of that stuff was user error. However, the box does say no thinning required, which the guy on the phone basically said that's not quite the case. He said you got to add water to it, and he said that's not thinning, which I don't know how he sees that as not thinning, but he said pull a couple cups of paint out and add a couple cups of water, and so that's what I did. He also said that if I used a larger tip than what came with it, I used the 515 tip, and I guess it's like the 517 tip, the larger tip, the largest tip that this would handle, then it would have worked a little bit better. But anyways, once again, I struggled for 2 or 3 hours with paint not really coming out and just a real headache. And then finally, like, I kept messing with the gun, with the primer and pump and everything, and I'm not sure if it just worked through some of the thicker stuff at the bottom, but it started to spray smooth, and then really quickly I was able to put this paint on, probably about a couple of hours, get all my little furniture pieces as well as this done. I made a mistake. I probably shouldn't have used exterior paint on interior furniture because of the VOCs, but I'm going to let it sit out here for a week and hopefully dry, and then I'll take it inside and keep it in the garage for another week or 2 and hopefully get rid of most of the VOCs. But yeah, so I'd give that paint sprayer 1 thumb up for doing the job at $500. I bought it for cost at Home Depot. This is not like one of those sponsored reviews or anything, but I give it 1 thumb down for needing thinning, which it said it didn't, and also just coming with a tip that just doesn't work with the kind of paint I was dealing with. Graco does have a lot of their instruction manual is really good. They have okay videos online, although it kind of breezes through a lot of stuff that if they spend a little more time explaining it, it'd probably be easier for DIYers. And their customer service is good, and the product seemed good. It's underpowered for what it claimed to do. It said it would do all exterior and interior paints, but not very easily, at least with the paints that I had. And the guy on the phone said with kind of the premium thicker paints for exterior, you want the bigger tip, you want to thin it, you got to strain it, you got to do all this stuff to get it to go through it. And I'm guessing that if you use my uncle told me if I use a larger commercial gun, probably one of the larger Graco ones or a different brand, you don't have to mess around with all that stuff. The gun is able to handle it with the larger tips and more power. So yeah, 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down. Ask me any questions in the comments, and give the video a like if it helped you. I wish I'd seen an unbiased video before I purchased my Graco X7. All the videos I saw were Graco had sent a free paint sprayer to somebody. This was a full price Home Depot Graco paint sprayer. I'm planning on doing my house as well, but it was such a nightmare to do a shed. I think I'm going to return the paint sprayer because it just didn't perform as the marketing people are a little overzealous what they put on the box. Probably return it and get a bigger one. The one I got, the X7, is it's just probably underpowered for doing a whole exterior, I'm guessing, it seemed to me, unless you're using real cheap thin paint or something, or you have a lot of time to mess around with things.